All right, folks. So when is the worst time to sell your property? We know by data and by some historical graphs and numbers that late fall and the early winter times are the worst. So when is the best? Well, the best time to sell a property is when you don't actually have to sell it. Well, jokes aside, let's get into this a little bit deeper because many are getting ready to list and sell and they're preparing their homes. So, by data and by experience, late fall, people are already losing it, right? And there's something happening to that clock, right? So, whenever we have that clock go back an hour, we feel that, obviously the days get darker much faster. We're losing the energy. It seems like we're not interested digging for deals out there if we don't have to buy a property. And then on top of that, we're getting into the winter months, right? The holidays, Christmas, winter season, skiing, New Year's. Most guys are getting ready mentally and financially and all of that stuff. So lots of events and things are kind of packed, right? And getting someone on the phone nowadays might be easier. However, they're having that issue, I would say, to pull a trigger, right? If they have not been looking for a long time in some cases and they couldn't find what they're looking for maybe or whatnot, right? But if it's just like you're trying to generate business, I don't think it's the right time to kind of get into it. So what's the next step? I mean, I keep saying that, and I believe sincerely that 2026 is not going to be the best year to buy or sell. And why do I say that? I think buying, you will still be buying in a falling market. Where's the bottom? Nobody knows. Selling, you're dealing with competition, right? Sales are down. Inventory is up. The accumulative inventory that's coming back, the folks that did not sell in 2025, 2024, 2023, waiting for a miracle, right? Believing some articles left and right, which is obviously, like they can do whatever they want. It's a free will. However, it's not gonna bounce back to these, 2021 numbers. It's just not going to happen. And there are many, many reasons. So if you're planning to wait and list in springtime, you're dealing with heavy competition. I sincerely believe that we're going to see the inventory skyrocket, totally skyrocket. Then if you list now, you're dealing with some listings that are already stale on the market. They're just sitting there. It's creating a fake, I would say, number, right? Like it's a fake list number or asking price. Let me put it that way. Why? Because if somebody has been sitting on the market for 90 days, 180 days plus, whatever, right? And then they have been at $1 million mark, right? If they didn't sell it, right? Let's say within like 90 days, right? Most likely that property is overpriced or the seller is unreasonable for whatever reason, a personal reason. Could happen. I don't know. But if you want to compete in that market, like you have to be smart about it now, and there's an actual opportunity, right? Because if you list your property properly and you say, listen, let me shave off and let me try to get the most amount of money but be extremely competitive, I believe you can still move the property. However, if you're stuck like everyone else, hoping for the stars and the moon and some ludicrous lottery win pricing, it's not going to happen. So when you move in 2026 spring market, we don't have a chance, I believe, the ability, the funds, the know-how, time. There's not enough time to rejig our economy, to make sure that we get out of it, that we're stable. So therefore, when we have the listings pile up and everything else pile up, and then you will have a high competition. By default, in order to be seen and visible, what do you have to do? Price will determine whether you will have showings, number one, and number two, if anyone will be even willing to send you an offer, and then we go into the negotiation stages, right? So it is very difficult. Like if you're in the market to sell, like you have to sell, and there are multiple reasons for it, right? Like I got into it, but some of them could be you cannot afford a mortgage anymore, right? You could afford it now, or you thought you can, but now you can't. The other day I drove. I haven't been in that block for a long time. I drove back, and that property that sold on the corner, it sold last year, it's back on the market. The other property, I'm not sure if it's exactly that unit or the one beside it. I'm not sure about that, but there are 2 units that sold, from 12 to 16 months ago that are back on the market, right? So it just goes to show you that some people, bite the bullet at a time, they get in, the fear of missing out, whatever. Now they're paying the price. Maybe not their fault, but maybe they believe that somehow, somewhere, someone will be there to save them, right? And I share a story with you quickly. I've been in a car, this gentleman driving, we're all friends in the car and stuff like that. He's a businessman, automotive, sells cars and all of that stuff, used and whatnot. And like that was last year. And I talked to him and I said, like, look, I don't think the price of real estate will bounce back. And he looked at me, he's like, well, the current government will take care of it. I said, like, listen, like I don't really care. Right government, left government, center government, it doesn't matter. Like I think whoever gets in power or whoever is in power cannot rejig this. There's so much happening, right? Like you just can't. And he said like, it's not gonna happen. Then the other day, that friend that was with us in the car, he told me, he called me, we started talking. He said, you know what the guy said? He said that his homes on the street went down from downhill from 2022 all the way like $500,000 in his neighborhood. And he was shocked, right? He's like, oh my gosh, like I cannot believe that prices are down. And you know what I mean? And then the guy asked him, he's like, well, why not? Like, I don't know, maybe that guy lived under a rock. Maybe he thought like, okay, like it's gonna be a bounce back and whatnot. On top of that, he bought some trucks, some vans, pickup trucks or some vans, utility vans and stuff like that. And he's losing on all of them, right? Don't know why. Apparently there has been a huge shipment from some sources that have been actually on these auctions or whatever. From my understanding, I'm not in that business. But it goes to show you that things are shifting rapidly. So his inventory, he's losing money. And now he's realizing, he's like, oh my gosh, like we're hitting something here. We might be even hitting a recession, right? So now he's raising and asking questions. What is the government doing? What is my neighbor doing? What is my business doing? What's social media saying? What's the true, like the City Paul, City TV, like the ordinary mainstream media saying? And I believe the trick is basically if you're not being affected, right, in any way, you just don't care. But as soon as you get affected, especially financially, right, then all of a sudden, boom, it triggers everything. And then all of a sudden, you open your eyes and you say, oh my gosh, what is going on? How come it's affecting me, right? So I think this is exactly what is happening. So there really no one-step formula advice for everyone how and when you should sell. By data, this is the worst time. Winter time is the worst time. Mobility, getting to people, showing property, getting in, getting out. If you're showing it to families, they have kids, it's hard to move around. People don't have the energy to do it, right? Some do, very, very rare. And then it's like pull and push and whatnot, right? If you have to list it, list it. Be smart about it. Do your analytics and look at the DOMs, days on the market. If the price is at $1 million and they've been sitting for 6 months, that's not the price. You have to be more competitive in order to sell. So I hope you get some value out of this. Please like and share it to somebody you know, and I'll see you in the next one.